Right, we need to discuss the ride access pass system because it's just getting out of hand now. Nah, sorry bro, we ain't getting rid of reserve and ride anytime soon because all I care about is the money. I don't give a damn about ride access passes. RAP stands for Ride Access Pass and is designed to be a virtual queuing system intended to improve the accessibility of queuing for disabled guests at Merlin's theme parks. For those of you who are sensible enough to have primarily visited non-Merlin theme parks in the UK, this system is the equivalent of the Easy Pass system at Blackpool Pleasure Beach and the Queue Assist system at Thorpe Park. On the outside, these systems seem great at improving the accessibility and guest experience for disabled guests visiting parks. However, Merlin's RAP system recently has come under some steam on that famous bird app. No, I'm not on about Tinder, I'm on about the actual birds, Twitter app that we all definitely don't know exists in the theme park world. So I thought, why not, as a RAP user myself, with the help of my army of Instagram followers who also have experience using these systems, discuss the various issues with the RAP system which we feel exist, the potential causes of these issues, and where applicable, potential solutions that Merlin could implement to improve the experience for all guests, not just disabled guests, we're on about regular guests as well here. The first major problem that RAP users such as myself have with the system is that RAP queues, as in the physical RAP queues when you join them, are often excessively long. For example, there's been times this season where the Smiler's main queue's been on 70 minutes and the RAP queue's been 60 minutes, when considering this is meant to be a virtual queuing system is simply just unacceptable. Now, the first thing that people tend to blame as the cause of this, that I personally disagree with, is that too many people have RAP. People who don't need it have it, etc. And the reason I disagree with this is because last year Merlin actually implemented a bit of a solution to this, or what should be a solution anyway, in partnering with Nimbus Disability in outsourcing their RAP system. Now, Nimbus Disability is an independent consultancy organisation that's actually run by disabled people and is designed to provide a common set of criteria that entertainment, hospitality and leisure businesses can use to assess eligibility for disabled services. And a lot of parks, including all the Merlin parks, implemented it last year or this year. We've recently got it at Blackpool Pleasure Beach as well. So how this system essentially works is you need to contact Nimbus Disability and fill in an application form in advance of your visit to an attraction. And what they will do is assess you against 9 separate criteria. So there's one criteria specifically for queuing, there's another for wheelchair access, etc. And it is a very strict process. In fact, I'd go as far as to say as it's possibly too strict. I mean, that's obviously debatable with the current situation at the moment, but you have to submit individual documents for each specific criteria. You get asked a load of questions on the form, and this is why I believe that the system isn't being that heavily abused at the moment, because I just don't understand how it can be, having gone through the process myself and got a RAP, which wasn't an easy process. Now, when you're using the Nimbus Disability system, what you can either do is apply for one-off entitlement for the attraction you plan to visit at a time, where you just fill in the form and they email you a document to indicate your eligibility. For the Ride Access Pass system, you would need to have the queuing symbol, and possibly maybe another symbol would be accepted as well that indicates something regarding rides, evacuations, because part of RAP is assessed on that. For example, you'll be given a higher tier of RAP if you would, say, have difficulty evacuating a ride, which indicates that you would need a carer with you, essentially. Or you can buy an access card for £15, and I know you may be thinking, money grabbing knobheads! However, I think that £15 is alright considering it lasts 3 years and this organisation needs to stay afloat somehow. And what that does is entitles you to your access requirements for 3 years, so you don't have to submit documents every single time you want to visit an attraction that implements the Nimbus Disability system. So as I said, this Nimbus Disability system is almost a solution of its own to the long RAP queues. I would also urge staff not to just dish out RAPs if guests start kicking off because they haven't realised that they need to do this process in advance before arriving at the park. It's not ideal that it needs to be done in advance. I don't like the fact that, you could just turn up on the day and be denied a RAP because of that. I think the only way around that would be for a staff member to sit down with the guest in question and go through the system and give the wrap based on the eligibility of the Nimbus Disability criteria. So they may not necessarily have the documents with them, but on the flip side to that, you know, if you really need a system like that and that much, you're going to do your research in advance anyway, aren't you? But it would be good to have that in place just in case. So I think the current Nimbus system should stay for now. I know I said before that it's overly strict, but during these current times, I think it's the only solution. Maybe in the future they could look to move into something else. But at the end of the day, I've got to say that Nimbus Disability are using the Equality Act 2010 when judging the eligibility criteria. So it is basically bound by law. And this also applies to enthusiasts. You can't just say that people have wrap that don't need it, even if it appears like that. Many people have invisible disabilities. And to be honest, this Nimbus disability system is as strict but as accurate as you're going to get. So the chances are that more likely than not, people who have wrap at the moment do actually need it. So we also need to consider operational issues at the parks that may be contributing to these high queues. One issue I think exists in particular with the paper wrap system at Alton Towers and Thorpe Park is the fact that staff are not being strict enough when assigning times. For those of you who are not aware of how the wrap system works, you join a physical wrap queue, and when you get to the front of that queue, a ride host writes a time on your card of when you can next ride another ride, and that time is calculated based on the regular queue time. However, in many cases, staff will be very lenient with this and they'll knock quite a bit of time off the queue. And while I do believe some time should be knocked off due to the time that is spent stood in the physical queue, it's often the case where it'll be cut especially short. Definitely at Thorpe Park, I've noticed, which ironically has the smaller wrap queues compared to Alton Towers in a physical sense, but it's definitely going to be contributing to the length of the physical wrap queues, this, with people just going from ride to ride to ride, which essentially means wrap users are getting a free fast track, which is not what it's for. Another major issue I feel exists is the overselling of fast track, because once again, Merlin are money grabbing knobheads. I'm sorry, I just have to keep putting that in. This season especially, I've noticed that fast track has been so oversold at Alton Towers from the one visit I've had to it anyway. And it's got to the point one time on Rita where the main queue, fast track queue and wrap queues have been so long, the ride host just went, screw it, we'll let an entire train of regular queuers on, or an entire train of fast track on, and then an entire train of wrap users on, which shouldn't be happening at all, because especially in the event of an evacuation, that would be absolutely chaos if there was an entire train of wrap users. And I think a lot of it in terms of an operational sense comes down to overselling of fast track. The ride host will let so many fast track users through at once and practically no wrap users through, or limited number of main queue users. And it just dawned on me one time when I saw it in the Smiler queue line that there's way too many people have fast track, so just sell less of the fast track, or don't even sell fast track at all. That's a debate in itself. Should fast track be a thing? I guess if people are travelling from afar and have a limited amount of time, then yeah, like fast track is good for improving guest experience in that sense. I noticed that during my visit, and other people noticed that they're just not getting those trains out quick enough this year, and that's definitely got to be contributing to the long wrap queues as well. Another argument is that Merlin are allowing too many carers with someone who has wrap, and that this is contributing to the larger queues. Now, I do agree that the more carers you have with a wrap user, the higher the wrap queues are going to be naturally, but at the end of the day, disabled people are humans. They should have equal rights as any other human, and that includes actually having friends. I hate the fact that Blackpool Pleasure Beach only permit one carer with a disabled guest, and you have to pay £5 for each additional carer. I think that's completely disgusting. I completely disagree with it. And I think Merlin are in the right for allowing 3 other people with a disabled guest. I get there has to be a limit somewhere, otherwise the queues are going to get stupidly big. But I don't think it's too big of an ask to allow 3 friends or 3 family members with 1 disabled person, and you know, these people just want to have a nice day out at the park together. What a load of rubbish that was, but I bet half of you'll still, you know, hit that subscribe button anyway for more content like this if you're enjoying it, you know. Oh, I bet he's going to start talking about reserve and ride now, like, just sod off, man. Reserve and ride, where do we even start? And I bet you knew that this was going to be coming up in the video somewhere. Over the past couple of years at Chessington World of Adventures and Legoland Windsor Resort, they've begun to introduce a reserve and ride system in place of the old paper-based wrap system that is still used at Alton Towers and Thorpe Park. This requires disabled guests to access a virtual website on which they can book a ride to ride. They then join a physical wrap queue, and when they get to the front of that physical queue, the ride host scans a QR code that is generated when the guest books a ride, and the timer then counts down, and when the timer reaches 0, which is calculated based on the length of the queue time, a guest can book another ride. You may not be able to see the issues on the surface, but trust me, there are several. Firstly, accessibility. We're talking about disabled guests here who may have difficulties accessing technology because there are plenty of disabilities that can affect that. And we're essentially asking these guests to perform an extra step and go through these websites and book these rides, and that introduces a whole load of user experience issues. You've got to adhere to user experience design principles for disabled individuals, for app development and website development, and it just adds in a whole lot of unnecessary complication, especially since the system has been proven that it doesn't solve the problems of ride hosts being lenient or just inaccurate when assigning the queue times to the physical wrap cards, as several people have told me on Instagram that the queue times are often miscalculated by the app or the website or whoever's updating it, and that results in guests often waiting longer, it has been found, than the queue time as opposed to less time, which in essence is even worse because wrap users are getting on even less rides than guests who don't use the system. And you wouldn't even believe this, but the system is completely discriminatory. Like, there's been times where the wrap queues have allegedly become full on these systems, even on really quiet days, meaning that wrap users have been unable to ride the rides because they can't book them essentially. And that has even applied to the awful wing coaster that's recently opened at the park. Like, why would you even build a launch shuttle wing coaster at Chessington World of Adventures, apart from now for capacity issues, that has a virtual queue of its own? Yet people have been able to join that one and ride the ride multiple times, but not been able to join the one for the wrap system. And to make matters even worse, on the major coasters at some of these parks that use these systems, wrap users are only able to ride them once in a day using this system. Like, why would you do that? And if it's found that they aren't able to join the wrap queue for whatever reason, because the wrap queue's full or because they've already ridden these rides once, they've been presented with messages asking them to purchase a £10 fast track. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, why would you have to pay to be disabled? It's awful. I think you get the idea that this system is pretty dreadful. I don't know why Merlin decided to implement it, but I think whoever's made this decision needs to be fired. Like, some of the messages I've seen within this app, like 4 entitlements left. Like, entitlements? What are you on about? Like, disabled people should be entitled infinitely to what they need, not just a set number of times. It's awful. Like, this person who's, I don't know, whoever's party or whatever person has decided this, screw you. If you would like to hear about another ride that has opened at a UK theme park this year, in which wrap users do not need to use a discriminatory virtual queuing system, then go on, click the video on the right side of your screen. A massive shout out to all of you on Instagram who've helped out with this video. I know you have some very strong opinions on the current state of the ride access pass system. It really does mean a lot. Click the icon in the centre of your screen, subscribe for more content like this, and be sure to leave a comment down below and give this video a like if you enjoyed it and have anything to say on the current situation of wrap. I'm Ben, thank you so much for watching ThrillNet, and I'll see you in another video.